was your experience with Terrapods?
So when you talk about experience, right, I'll tell you how we approach you guys, right? So, so we basically are a logistics company. So we do a lot of documentation work online and offline all the time. So we were going through a digital transformation, and a lot of things were getting digitized like continuously. And then we, at some point, we understood now there is digitization, and then you have multiple systems working in the company for different functions. And we started to slowly integrate these systems now, like either through CS uploads or APIs and things. And then, just to make sure the data, the information flow is, always happening well. And then when we are exploring these solutions, we understood that there are cases where, no matter what you have, like, all these CSVs and, APIs and all, there are still, a lot of systems where, places where, you can't integrate with these sort of, medium. And then that's when we came across RPA, like robotic process automation. So we started exploring what this concept is, and we sort of had basic understanding of what RPA is. Basically, wherever you can't integrate things quite well, our understanding of RPA, you can basically mimic these. How a user basically works on the computer on the screen. You can mimic. You do it once, and then you basically can put it on some sort of a macro and mimic these things on a loop, and then you can use that capability to basically do these repeated tasks over and over again without someone having to do this on a laptop or a computer. So this technology takes care of that, and then that's when I came across Team Terrabot, and we reached out to Madhura from their team, and then we got connected with their founder Shrikant, and then we slowly. They basically gave us an overview of how things, how they were doing RPA and stuff, and Shrikant and the team, they come with a lot of experience in this field, and they've also got immense extensive experience in of like other integrations and capabilities. So I think they also had they actually saw this coming, right? They knew like organizations were going through digital transformation would need this specific sort of a requirement. And then we started exploring, what use cases can we come up with, right? So one use case was, so we are a logistics company, so we have something called e-way bills. Whenever you send out a consignment, you need to punch in an e-way bill, and then there's a validity for this e-way bill, and then there's a government portal to handle these e-way bills and stuff. And then, so when we do, so we operate over 50 warehouses across India. So we were thinking, how do we ensure all these e-way bills are updated whenever a validity expires? These things are getting updated on time. So we were doing it manually all the time, and because of that, sometimes we tend to our team. Someone tends to forget to, let's say, someone forgets to update the e-way bill or extend the e-way bill, and then it's a worry, right? When someone catches you, right? Basically you forget it, and then it's an expired e-way bill, and then there's a penalty on it. So with this automation, we could completely sort of get rid of that trouble. So I don't think that we used to have a lot of these sort of issues until RPA was in the picture, Terrabot was in the picture. But ever since we onboarded them, I think we've never had such an issue for over 2 years today. And best part is, when we were onboarding them, we were about 30 locations. Now we've expanded to over 50 locations, and then they could easily scale with us so well, like and yeah.
Okay. So, how do you see the technology emerging in this RPA sector and in logistics as well?
I think so. See, most companies are like ideally wanting to have a, like the entire process getting digitized and having a complete flow of processes digitally, right? But the problem is, okay, you're not. Most companies will fail to achieve this. I mean, it's a continuous process, right? Like journey, but thing is that there will always be these barriers where some systems they won't give you access to integrate right now. So how do we do it? So nobody, a system or a portal or an organization or where you have to fetch data from or give data to. Uh, there are two things. One is now they don't give you access to do that, or the integration is too costly, and then the only option you have is keep moving like with manpower. Like you put a lot of guys and then let them do it, update it. But the problem is then there is a question of accuracy, time, and scalability. So obviously in this case, you need something like this. Whatever a man can do, a person can do should be able to be done by this macro or whatever the RPA, these bots we call it, these digital bots on screen. I think I think any company that looks for a full-fledged digital transformation must or will have to go through RPA for sure. Like especially if they're talking to multiple systems from multiple stakeholders. Like okay, if your system is completely internally built, you're not using any other system, you're not interacting with any sort of other digital systems or anything, then maybe you don't need something like this. But I don't know like a business where they don't have to interact with other external systems. So most companies, this is relevant not in just logistics space. Any companies, like manufacturers, like wholesalers. Like I know a few car dealership companies, they use RPA quite well because they have a client ERP system, like and then they have a dealer management system, and then they have an accounting suite. And how do you integrate all of them together? Maybe internally, their dealer management or their retail management system and their financial suite, maybe they can integrate using APIs or I don't know, any sort of SFTP or whatever, right? But if you are sometimes you're maybe won't be possible with your client ERP. So and then you have to manually enter this data onto this all the time. This is where RPA comes into play. I've seen companies where they have. I know a company personally where they had hundreds of people doing these sort of entries, and then I think probably they have cut it short to I don't know like 10x less number of people with this in place. So yeah, I think this is going to stay. This is going to. I think it's still this is a lot of companies are not really aware of this technology, and I see that a lot of our clients are also using RPA because the way they send sometimes they send out statements and stuff. They're so sure they're using something like RPA tool for that. So yeah, this is that here to stay.
So, how has the technology helped you scale up, or how has it solved your problem?
Like I said, it is basically reduced. So a lot of it has mitigated risk, like so things are getting updated, and particularly I want to talk about when it comes to your team is the fact that you've been an extended team for us. So uh, I see that whenever there is some hiccups here and there due to some technical issues from our side, or, or if there is a change in our system uh, in terms of like so we are a tech company in a way as well. So we build transportation management systems in house. So whenever there is some changes happening there and all, so your team come and basically interact with us, and then there is a good bond between the teams, and I mean, you guys update as we update our systems. So I think when you choose an RPA partner, you have to make sure it's not just about the tech part of it. It's also about the support you get. That's very important because your organization is always organic. There's always change. So how do you make sure you choose the right vendors to make sure they are also part of your growth. Like, they also understand the criticality of these changes, and they work with you all throughout your partnership. So yeah,
That was really nice, Akhil, and thank you so much for your support. You were our first client, and we are really happy you took out time for us today. Thank you so
thank you.
much.